Hey there, I'm Nell Stokes and this is my YouTube channel, Nell Stokes 80 and Up. On this final day of February 2024, I'm sharing a mini African American history lesson. I will be using the words Negro, Black, and African American interchangeably. African Americans have contributed to American history since 1492 when Pedro Alonzo Nina, a black man, sailed with Christopher Columbus to what he called a new world. He navigated the Santa Maria, one of the three ships that sailed with Columbus. It is unreasonable that one can discover territory already inhabited by people. In my research, I learned that Columbus set a precedent in forcing outside will upon native people living on land in his so-called New World. Columbus and the wave of European settlers brought slavery and forced labor, religion, brutality, violence, disease, and death to this new world. Native people were not people in their view, but pawns and obstacles to be used and removed in their quest for power and ownership. Although people of African descent were in the Americas, the slave trade began in 1619 when 20 Africans, three of whom were women, arrived in Jamestown, Virginia on a Dutch ship and are sold as indentured servants. Negro slave revolts indicates that Negroes were not docile, childlike people. Like all other oppressed people, such as those under colonialism, they struggled for their independence and freedom. Yet this piece of history, like others, has been systemically excluded from our history books, a censorship of omission which nurtured and sustained the myth and stereotype of a backward people. Even in 2024, too many responsible educators and lay leaders are unaware of the abundant material covering the participation and contributions of African American people. A quote from a school librarian in 1952 says that publishers have participated in a cultural lobotomy. It is no accident the Negro identification have been forgotten. African American people have not only produced their own history, but at the same time have been a central force in the total history of the United States, where our blood is in the soil, the rivers, and the streams. There are thousands of United States patents of inventions by African Americans. Dr. Carter G. Woodson set out to highlight those accomplishments in 1926 when he began the study of Negro history. He initiated Negro History Week that same year and chose the second week of February to coincide with the birthdays of Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass. It became a month in 1976. To share a bit of my history, I was born in 1939 and raised in Montgomery, Alabama, and lived under the Jim Crow laws of that state for 24 years. There was legal punishment on people for consorting with members of another race. Marriages between races were not allowed. Separate schools for black children. Black and white people can't be in the same jails. White women nurses can't help black men. Anyone from a different race isn't allowed to use the same toilet, and segregation on public transportation, to name a few. If you thought the 13th Amendment abolished slavery, it didn't. A loophole was found by the southern states that made slavery a punishment for crime. Convict leasing began in Alabama in 1846 and ended on July 1st, 1928. If you were a black man, you could be arrested for just walking down the streets. They called it loitering. You were jailed and rented out by the state as free labor as long as the establishment desired. Another disparaging thing about African Americans in Montgomery, Alabama was the opportunity to vote. People who attempted to vote were threatened, attacked, or even killed. I went to take the test to vote when I was 18. There were 68 questions, and it cost $5. I failed. A few months later, I took the test again and failed. When I asked what the questions were that I missed, I was told, "You just get out of here, gal." Fast forward November 1963, Albany, New York. I was told by a family member that I should go vote. I was surprised that all I needed to do was to give my name and address to vote. However, after I voted, a person at the door on the way out shook my hand and left a $5 bill in it, which I let fall to the floor. I was insulted that anyone would want to pay me to vote. In 1980, while employed by the Albany YWCA, I created, designed, and implemented the famous Black American Essay Contest for children in the Capital Region, ages 8 to 18. I wanted to dispel the myth of African American dysfunction and show our importance to the country in which we lived. We prepared children by providing writing workshops to teach them how to research and write their essay. That first year, we received 387 essays from throughout the Capital Region. Volunteers judged each entry and chose 28 winners to represent the 28 days of February, which is Black History Month. The mayors of Albany, Schenectady, and Troy were honorary chairs and attended the workshop to encourage the students. The 3 local TV stations recorded excerpts from each essay and aired moments in Black history each day. They aired moments of Black history each day during the month of February. To celebrate their accomplishments, we had a dinner with the keynote speaker, and each winner received a terrific prize for their effort. It was an awesome accomplishment that lasted for the next 15 years until the YWCA closed, after which the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated continued it for another 26 years. Throughout history, a tremendous amount of effort has been put into highlighting and preserving African American history. Now, in 2024, there are those who are determined to try to eliminate the strides we have made by banning books, creating laws that eliminate diversity and equity and inclusion. Voting rights laws are being rolled back. Women's rights are being singled out for extinction. As Americans, we cannot allow that to happen. It is a fact. If you don't know your history, if we don't know our history, we are bound to repeat it. Repeat the atrocities that happens. We must come together and make sure the freedoms we fought and died for remain available to all Americans. Frederick Douglass said, "You cannot outlaw one part of people without endangering the rights and liberties of all people. You cannot put a chain on the ankle. You cannot put a chain on the ankle of the bondman without finding the other end around your own neck." Although February is set aside to celebrate, African American history is American history, and we cannot be erased. Thank you for listening to my YouTube channel, Nell Stokes 80 and Up. Remember, please subscribe and set your notifications. Remember, yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. That's why we call it the present. Thank you.